How did you feel when you got stem cells? Do you feel like that significantly, like made you significantly better, or alleviated your symptoms?
It did. Yeah. I mean, I got the monoclonals at the end of 2021, and then I started getting stem cells in 2022. And it helps with energy, fatigue, just like overall wellness. I felt when I took the stem cells. Like I just overall felt better. And that's really the best way to describe it. As far as like I was like having like a lot of chest tightness, like I didn't really have lung issues, but I felt like sometimes it was just like more difficult to breathe, short of breath, and that completely alleviated all of those types of symptoms.
Mm.
The stem cells did.
And you got stem cells in the US. You didn't have to travel outside of the US.
No, I got them in Mexico, in Tijuana.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
In Is that a common route people take if they want stem cells? They have to go outside of the country.
It's really, really popular. Like I go to the clinic, and everyone there is pretty much from the US, Canada. Yeah, it's like all the patients are English speaking patients that have traveled there, because the cost and because of the accessibility to the treatments. And they don't freeze the stem cells there. In the US, they are frozen. So once you take stem cells and you freeze them, you don't really know how many die off in the process, because when you take them out from being frozen, so say we're going to give you an infusion and they're going to give you like say 50 million stem cells. Well, if half of them die off, you're paying for something you're not getting.
Hmm.
So they're fresh stem cells from a lab. So yeah, it's really, really quite common. I know that of course there's some skepticism, of going to places outside the US. I mean, and I totally understand that. The clinic that I go to, though, they've been around for like over 35 years. They treat Lyme disease and fibromyalgia, and people are there with cancer. I mean, it's a really reputable clinic. So I felt comfortable going there. I mean, you do have to vet where you're going, and you do have, you can't just pick some random place. You really do have to know and educate yourself.
When you go to a clinic like that outside of the US, what's the cost like compared to in the US? Is it the same, less, or more?
Oh, no, it's so much more expensive here. I mean, you're looking at, um, let me think. So 5 million stem cells was about $3,500 here, where you could get like 42 million stem cells for 4,000 there. So you're talking about 5 million versus 42 million cost about the same. So it's super, super expensive in the United States, and the access is a little bit more difficult to get to.
Mhm. Yeah, wow, that's significant, definitely. Is it not just it's not just Mexico? You can go to are there some like South American countries as well that have?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's like a really big clinics like in Panama, Puerto Vallarta. I mean, a lot of like famous people even go to some of these clinics, and some of these clinics are expensive. And it was, out of my price range, where some of like the celebrities, like there have been like people like I think Joe Rogan and other celebs like that that have talked about places for stem cells. I know like Mel Gibson's father like went to some place, and but they can be really expensive there too, like around $20,000.
Mhm.
If you're going a place like the clinic Bio Advanced Medical, that's where I go. You can spend around like $3,000 to $4,000, and flat out.
Mhm.
So yeah, but there's most of the stem cell places are in like South American countries.